If you're struggling on defense in Madden 26, then you're in luck. Because in today's video, I'm going to break down 2 lockdown coverage defenses you can use to start getting more stops and winning more games. So a lot has been made about how bad zone coverage is in Madden 26, and definitely I would say 90+% of zone defenses in this game are terrible. However, cover 2 is by far my favorite zone coverage in this game. Now, you can't just run cover 2 stock, but I'm going to break down 2 advanced setups I use with cover 2 that are very good. And if you want more content like this, make sure you subscribe to the channel and drop me a like on the video. So first, I want to explain the strengths and weaknesses of cover 2 on this game, because they definitely did make some changes to the way cover 2 plays. So in the past, I would say one of the biggest weaknesses with cover 2 was like the deep halves just would not play the sidelines. But this year you'll see like they actually get out to the sidelines, and you can't just throw these like fades. You know, if you had a play like this with a fade on the sideline, you would notice the deep half would just never get over there. Now that's just not the case. They're consistently in position. The biggest problem I would say with cover 2 is the hook zones. So these mid reads, they're supposed to carry the middle. They do not do a good job of that. So you'll see here, if I actually just streak this inside receiver, this is going to be an issue, because what's going to happen is the mid read is going to get confused because of the post route to the tight end, and we're going to give up an easy seam touchdown if I have like 1 second to throw the ball here, just like that. That, I would say, is one of the biggest issues with cover 2, is that mid-read defender can just get easily abused. The other big issue I would say with cover 2 is the other hook zones, specifically hook curls, are awful. The reason why I would say they're awful is even when you shade them down, such as I do here, they just drop way too far back. So if I have a drag over the middle of the field, I can just throw that and I can get like 5 to 10 yards like nothing. So hook zones out of cover 2, very bad. The deep zones, very good. The flats, you know, they do have their purpose. I think that cloud flats and hard flats actually are pretty decent on this game. On college, I would say that they were really bad, but on this game, like if you have a hard flat, you know, and somebody tries to chuck it in the flat, your guy's actually there. So I don't really mind the flat zones. I feel like they do a decent enough job. My issue is with the hooks. So I have 2 setups I'm going to show you guys to make cover 2 1,000 times better. So the first thing I'm going to recommend doing for setup number 1 is going into your coaching adjustments and simply setting your zone drop for your hooks to 5. I'm also going to recommend doing safety depth to close, width to pinch. Now, I'm going to explain why I do pinch in a second. You would think with cover 2 you wouldn't really want that, but it actually is good, okay? Now, you can run cover 2 from any formation you really want that has a cover 2 play. Personally, though, I like running a lot of these mug formations, so I have auto flip on because these are going to be nickel. Reason why I like nickel mug formations is they give me the threat of the blitz. You know, you can stunt from them. Just a lot you could do. So like here, let's just run the load mug, okay? And we're going to run Tampa 2. And I'm going to explain the first way I like to utilize this defense, okay? So remember, we were getting killed with the seam. The mid-read was no good. The easiest way to get around this is just to put this guy into a middle third. The mid-read is not really going to defend that seam. The middle third actually will. Now, what you can do here is if you're really worried about these sidelines, like over here with the trips, you can actually put this guy into an outside third. Because we have a middle third, it's going to be fine. All right? Now, remember, we have our hook zones on 5. So now those annoying routes that were bothering us over the middle, those will no longer be an issue. Now, when you do something like this, you do need to be aware of the flats. This is where you either want to shade underneath to get hard flats, or you can leave them, you can definitely leave them in the actual, clouds. So something like this, I'm going to just use the hook zone right here, and I'm going to be watching for, routes over the middle of the field, like tight end posts, return routes, things of that nature. Real quick, guys, if you want to dominate Madden 26 and win more games, check out my VIP membership on Sportsgamerz.com. This is where I post all my premium content, including all the offensive and defensive ebooks I release all year long, in addition to premium Madden Vault weekly tip updates. You will learn the proven strategies thousands of players have used to win more games, and over 99% of my members say that they win more games with my tips. Click the link in the description to join now and start winning more games today. You guys know with the hook on 5, I'm going to have to watch for like posts because the 5-yard hook will defend a drag. It will defend a return route. What it's not going to defend is a post. So as you see here, I simply just take the post. I let the 5-yard hook get the return route, and we're getting sacked. You guys can see this middle third did an outstanding job of getting down the middle of the field and taking away this seam streak. This guy was able to play the sideline, and there is literally nothing open here. So this is a really, really nice setup. You can get extra aggressive with this if you want to take away the hard flat area, but most of the time, this is something simple I do. You can set up a stun out of it however you want to do. You can, like I said, with the mug formations, have the threat of a blitz. It's really nice. Now, the second setup I use is something that I like to use against the bunch guys. Now, what about defending these bunch guys? Because, these bunch guys, as we know, love to run these stem down corners with like the slot fades and streaks and, drags. Something like this. This has been very much abused, and it's very annoying to defend. Classic cover 2 zone drop, like with the setup I just showed you, is okay against it, but there's actually a better setup to use, which leads me to setup number 2. Now for this one, you really want to use a formation like dime 1-4 that has 2 slot corners, and I'll explain why in a second. The most important thing is to turn your zone drops off, put them on the fault, do not have any zone drop set for the hooks or anything else, because like I said, we're going to turn this into a matching cover 2. The play I'm going to pick is just going to be the dime 1-4, Tampa 2. All right, now, let's go ahead. We'll just pick this play, smash sluggo, to set up this play out of it. A lot of people will just do something basic like this, where they have, a seam streak, a drag, and then the stem down corner, okay? Now, here's what we're going to do defensively. Cloud flats, they don't match. But if you put both of your outside corners into soft squats, they will. Now, slot corners, they're in hook curls. These zones are terrible, terrible, terrible zones. You zone drop them to 5, they'll actually play a little bit better. But if you have your zone drops off, I much prefer vertical hooks. These vertical hooks actually will match. And at this point, you can use your mid-read to watch kind of the seam throws, right? If you want to learn how to make millions of coins to get all the best players on your Madden Ultimate Team, check out the Coin Authority on Sportsgamerz.com. Click the link in the description of this video and use coupon code COINS for 10% off your order. Now, the reason why you really want to do this from dime 1-4 is because you need these slot corners to put in vert hooks. When you're matching, you need vert hooks, right? If we go to, say, the back into a nickel mug formation, what you're going to find is that you're not going to be able to set this defense up the same way because you only have one slot corner. You can put this slot corner in a vertical hook, right? But this is a linebacker, and he's getting hook, curl, flats, like thirds. He doesn't have that adjustment. So that's really why you want to use the dime 1-4. The dime 1-4 is also a good formation to blitz from as well. So that's another positive. Let's go ahead and set up this route combo and just really show y'all how it looks. I'm going to pick Z-spot goal line because really, like I said, the play does not matter. It's just literally hot routes. And this is something that if you've played this game online at all, I'm sure you've seen because it is good. A lot of people do it. So once again, all we're doing is using the mid-read, but both outside corners into soft squats. A soft squat adjustment is just simply to the right on the left stick for these outside corners. And then I put both slot corners into vertical hooks, and a vertical hook is simply down on the left stick for a slot corner. As you see, I've changed this up. I can do this in a game in a split second. I'm just going to watch basically the seam with my mid-read, and let's just see how this works. As you guys could see, there's nothing open, okay? Yeah, the vertical hook on this route combo did match the seam streak, but still, I'm gonna help on that. I just don't want it to, because sometimes they'll just get beat. I don't want that to happen. But what you're gonna notice here is that the soft squat, he is going to match this corner route. You cannot throw this successfully. And you can't really throw the slot fade because the safety's over the top. And oh, by the way, the vertical hook, he matched the drag. So there's really nothing you can throw here. And this is really why I like this defense because, a lot of people will zone drop their flats to try to defend something like this. And when they zone drop their flats, they're just trying to stop the corner route. That is not a good idea because if you zone drop your flats to stop the corner route, all you're doing is you're basically giving up the underneath drag route that's coming from the other side. But when you have the vertical hook, you're definitely not giving that up because it's getting matched. This is just a much better defense. Again, take a look. You'll see, we cannot throw this corner route. I mean, I didn't even stick switch, and the dude just picked it himself. That is really good. Now, I do want to caution you guys about something that is very important to note. Soft squats, they match, but if there is a primary flat threat, they will come off that to defend the flat. But there are workarounds around that, and if you want to learn more about how to play some of the best coverages in the game, stop all the best offensive formations, check out my VIP membership on Sportsgamerz.com. We have all the best tips and information you need to dominate. I've been doing this for 20 plus years. Everyone who's in the content game has been a member of my site and learned the game from me. Until next time, it's your boy Duke, and I'm out of here.